$10 million for information leading to the arrest of the Mexican drug kingpin known as El Mencho. He's blamed for a flood of narcotics into the U.S. And in tonight's Eye on America, Adriana Diaz takes us on the hunt for this dangerous drug lord.
It's just after sunrise, and on Chicago's west side, we're out watching the morning rush for drugs.
Yes, with 7:15.
7:15 in the morning.
Yeah.
And there's people in the alley back there.
The seller's behind that boarded fence.
The DEA's Brian McKnight showed us what's going on in broad daylight.
There's literally a line. Now everyone's coming back out.
Yeah. See, the guy's got his right hand, he's putting it in his pocket.
Last year in Chicago alone, almost 800 people died from drug overdoses. What percentage of drugs in Chicago do you think come from Mexico?
A significant amount, probably about 90%.
90%.
Yeah.
The DEA says this man is a major part of the problem. He's a rising Mexican drug lord named Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, known simply as El Mencho.
He's the #1 priority for DEA and frankly, federal law enforcement in the United States.
Matthew Donahue is the DEA's top agent in Mexico and has helped uncover dozens of El Mencho's drug labs in the jungle. El Mencho's cartel is responsible for roughly a third of the drugs entering this country by land and by sea. He has a $10 million bounty on his head. Ironically, he lived in California some 30 years ago, where he was arrested on drug charges and eventually deported back to Mexico.
He's got an enormous amount of weapons, RPGs, 50 calibers weapons that basically has his own SWAT teams.
From shooting down a Mexican Army helicopter, killing 6, to being implicated in a public hanging this summer, El Mencho protects his empire with impunity. Back in Chicago, the Mexican drugs seized are so toxic they can't be handled without protective gear. At the DEA's lab, packs of cocaine are stamped with traffickers' brands, and more than a third can be traced back to El Mencho.
He's the one that's responsible for sending in the poison that's actually killing innocent women and kids. So what happens when someone's child dies? Good chance it probably came from this organization.
Can you stay with me? Open your eyes.
This is the aftermath, an overdose in Chicago. This man survived that day, but last year more than 67,000 Americans did not. By flooding the U.S. with drugs, El Mencho's cartel makes hundreds of millions of dollars a year. The DEA says part of the challenge in capturing him is that he has entire police departments in Mexico on his payroll. Nora, as one agent put it, if El Mencho wants you to work for him, you have 2 options: say yes or be killed.
Incredible reporting tonight, Adriana. Thank you so much.